My coolant expansion tank is out for delivery, so I'm gonna try to get the one out of 540 before that one comes. Now, big tip I got from watching the YouTuber J Organic do this. He pretty much took off this left wheel over here, gives you access to the liner. From taking off that liner, you'll be able to see the actual hoses that run under your coolant expansion tank right over here. At that point, lift this up. We'll be able to swap it out. And key tip for everybody who's doing the work by themselves or just doing it for the first time, go over the tools that you're going to need before you start taking the car apart, because you're most likely missing something, and at least this way you can still get around and get it. Step one out the way. Using a 17mm bolt, you can take that wheel off right over there. Gives you a bunch of space looking into your liner. We're gonna be using an 8mm bolt. Take these off that are all around your liner so that we can remove that covering. Give us access right over here. Let's get that. All right, now that we got the liner out the way, we can finally see here the two connectors that we need to get access to. Take this thing out. You're gonna have a E16 right over here, 16mm holding the other end of the strut bar, and then you're gonna notice a lot of T30s holding a lot of these front panel screws in. So do have all of that when working, as well as a pry tool, of course, to get those plastic sections off here to loosen up this weather stripping. All right, now coming over here, we're gonna be disconnecting all of these hoses. So just use your little pry tool, pull this clip, second one, third one. There's a fourth over here, that's why we had to remove that. That thing was hanging on by a thread, pulled it a little bit, whole thing snapped off. So I'm definitely glad I was parked up when this happened. And let's get these new ones on. I think this, damn, I think it broke at the end too. Yeah, so it was definitely ready to go. That's why as well, keep in mind, if you're doing this replacement, I highly recommend that you just replace all your hoses. They're most likely in the same state, same stage, ready to just blow off. Pause. So after you're doing that, you're gonna use your pick tool, pull this clip up. It's gonna be a little hard getting under there. Pull that clip out, get that loose. Second clip here, if you, oh damn, right here. Where? Right here.
Hard as you want, these shits will not break.
All right, so we got the old one up and out. See, we disconnected our lines for your coolant. Get you all this space right over there. It did take a little bit of work, so keep in mind, when you're coming over here, the most important thing is that it's gonna be held by a grommet on this side over here. And then you're also gonna have two plastic pieces locking into this. So you're gonna be pulling up, out, and you'll be able to take it out entirely with your space for your new aluminum lines and reservoir. Yeah, it was starting to rain, so I didn't get to record everything. I did put the aluminum reservoir in here, put the upgraded lines. So if you notice, the ends on here are gonna be aluminum compared to, say, like the ends that I have on this coolant line that is gonna be needing a replacement soon. Obviously, from what you can see in itself, it's much more reliable. This isn't gonna be warping from the heat, getting brittle. Now, big tip as well, I don't know if anybody else is gonna have this issue. When I connected this line for the first time, I actually put the wrong sides. So that side was connected on here. It wasn't closing all the way, and it was actually letting it leak. There's gonna be a little bit of give, but definitely make sure it's not leaking before you start putting everything back on, because I did have to put it on, take it off, put it back on. So thank you guys for watching.